Hi guys. So welcome to my booktube. This is my very first video. If you came from Instagram, then you know my name's Izzy. I read a lot. I also am a writer. And I'd been thinking for a while about doing a booktube as just a new challenge, creative challenge, a new thing to kind of figure out and learn. I know nothing about video editing. I actually am very uncomfortable in front of the camera, so this was kind of a way for me to do, a couple birds with one stone, learn how to video edit, get more comfortable in front of the camera. If you've watched anything that I posted on Instagram, you know that most of the time I am very kind of all over the place, scattered. Things are a little chaotic. So I'm hoping that with practice and time, it'll get a bit more organized. So forgive me if this video is a mess. This is the third time I've tried to film it today, so third time's the charm. I'm going to do a couple different things with this video. I'm going to do a book haul, because I did just go book shopping. So I'm going to do a book haul. I'm going to go over my September, the books I hope to read this month, my September TBR, or the books that I'm currently reading and hope to finish. That's probably a better way to say that. And then I'm going to go over, because we're early in September and we have officially entered spooky season, I'm going to go over books that I think kind of put us in a September, autumn, spooky mood. I only am going to rec books or talk about books that I have personally read. I know there are a lot that fall under this category that could also be recommended. I'm not going to do those though, just because I haven't read them. I won't rec something I haven't read. So like I said, that's what we're going to do today, hopefully, unless this starts running kind of long and then I won't do all of that. But we're going to start with the book haul. Second and Charles, which, if you don't know, is a bookstore. It's a retailer that is affiliated with Books A Million, except that they buy and sell used books. They had their Labor Day sale this weekend, so it was buy 5, get 5 free of their used fiction. And used books are really the only reason I go to Second and Charles. If I wanted to pay full price for a book, I'd go to like Barnes & Noble or something. If you hear lots of noise, it's because the cats are here. If they get it close enough, I'll introduce them to you. So of course I took them up on that, because why not? I only have 7 books in this haul, but I went with my friend and she got 3, so together we combined our efforts and got 5 for 5. But yeah, we're gonna start with the book haul. We'll move into TBR and then we'll go to book recs, okay? So first and foremost, a new tote bag. It's a good one. It's a nice good size. It's got a good sturdy canvas, and it's got pockets on the side and a pun on the front, so you can't lose. First book of the book haul is The Grimrose Girls by Laura Pohl, which is a very spooky season read based on the cover and the back of it. Okay, so this is Hazel, and if her sister comes over here, her sister's name is Witch. Collectively they are Witch Hazel. Back to the books. Based on the back of it and the cover of it, it is a good spooky season read. I'm hoping to read it in September or October for the vibes. It's about a murder at a girls' boarding school. Dark academia type vibe here. But I also think the cover's really pretty. So that's the first one. I'm not going to read the flaps of all of these because then we'll be here all night, but that's the first one, and I think it's gorgeous, and I can't wait to read it. The tagline, though, is 1 murdered girl, 4 troubled friends, and a fate they can't escape. So that's fun. Alright, second book is the sequel to A Curse So Dark and Lonely, A Heart So Fierce and Broken. I've only read the first one of this series, but I bought it because I like to have a complete series, and I don't own it yet, but I also bought it because it was less than $10 and it had the fun end pages. And I am a sucker for end pages, so I bought that one. Next up, The Green Doesn't Care. This has been on my TBR since it's come out. I've heard a lot of really good things about it. Also the cover's really pretty, and usually like that week between Christmas and New Year's, my attention span is shit, so I'll probably read rom-coms during that time. So this may end up being read before the end of the year, but not probably in the next month or two. Yay. Okay. The Highland Witch. 1692, Highland, Scotland, and witches. I don't need to say anything else. We all know why I bought this one, right? Plus it was only $3.75. Pretty excited about it. It seems like a witchy murder mystery type thing. I'm gonna try not to slouch the whole video because that will be bad for my back. Also the cover's really pretty. So that looks like it could be just like a one-day sit-down read for me on a weekend, so I might get to that one in September, October, maybe. Book number 5. I just realized I'm missing one of my new ones. I don't know where it... Oh! I'll pull it up in a second. I told you this is going to be chaotic. The Stand-In. I have heard this is fantastic, and I've been told that I specifically would like it. From what I can tell, just based off the back of it, it is kind of like Princess and the Pauper, or that Christmas movie, The Christmas Switch, or the Lizzie McGuire movie. So, passing the vibe check already. Pretty excited about this one. Pretty similarly, probably won't get I probably won't get to it until close to the end of the year. But I think the cover's really cute, so. Next to last, Grave Mercy. I have read, I think, all but like the last 1 or 2 of this. I read the original first 3. I don't know how many there are now. I read the 4th and I think the 5th. It doesn't matter. I don't own any of these, and it was $4, and it was $4. Excuse me. And yeah, so now I have an excuse to buy all of them, which I think is kind of fun. I remember this one, I think, being my favorite. No, it wasn't. I think it was the 3rd one. But anyway, there's that one. And then the last one from the book haul is Slasher Girls and Monster Boys. It is a thriller and horror short story collection, and the authors that like wrote stories for it are like Leigh Bardugo, Marie Lu, Jay Kristoff, Carrie Ryan, Kendar Blake. Again, this is good. I think I'll probably also try to read this one in September, October. I really like thriller and horror, but I also get bored with thriller and horror very, very quickly. So this will be good because I can just read short stories for it at a time and not have to be like, feel like I'm sludging through it. So that's the book haul. And the tote bag was part of that because I bought it at the same place, because how else am I going to get my books out of there? So those are the new books that I got. I am technically on a book buying ban. So I guess we'll start over and go now. At least they were all used and I didn't pay for these full price, right? That kind of sort of counts. Okay. No sudden movements because Hazel will get scared because she is a scaredy cat. On to September currently read / TBR goals. I'm a mood reader, so it's very hard for me to stick to a TBR because if I'm not vibing with it, even if it's a book that I typically would like, I am not going to be able to read it, which is why these are hopefuls for the rest of the month. I've already started. This is Witch. It fits her personality very well, so no, I will not be taking questions, comments, or concerns. Okay, first up is Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney. This is actually one that I'm reading for book club. I am probably about, this bookmark that's in here is not correct because I was reading it on my Kindle. I'm probably about halfway through the book right now, and I am very bored. And truthfully, the only reason I'm still reading it is because I'm reading it for book club. The writing is not good. I feel like the plotting is good. Like, I feel like it is really gonna surprise me, but some of the writing is so corny. I cannot take it seriously, and the characters, neither one of them is likable, which does not help. So, not loving it so far. I will finish it. Hopefully it does surprise me. Not looking good so far. But I technically have to read this before Saturday. Yeah, before then, because that's when we have book club. Next, I actually don't have the dust jacket on it right now because I don't read books with just dust jackets on them. It is The Princess Will Save You. I've read the first chapter only, but really, really liked it, and ended up having to put it down because I was on a time crunch for another book I was reading. So I put it down, but I really liked the first chapter of The Princess Will Save You. It's not that big of a book. I think maybe our definitions of big are probably different, but so this is one I'm hoping to finish before the end of October, at least. I'm gonna try to be optimistic here, or realistic, I guess. But this is one that I've started and am enjoying so far, and the way it's typed out, it's not like super cramped or anything. Well, the first chapter of this was better than all of what I've read so far of Rock, Paper, Scissors, if that tells you anything. Next, this is one that's been on my list for forever. I borrowed it from the library, and it was a similar situation to The Princess Will Save You, where I was already kind of reading stuff that I was hoping to finish by a certain date, because I was hoping to be done before the release of the new book. So I put it down for a bit, so I haven't read past chapter 5 or 6 so far, but I am really enjoying it. It's getting in the 9th. I went ahead and just bought the paperback of it because it was on hold at the library, so I couldn't renew it. It is kind of funny so far, and it's necromancers, which is really fun, which I guess could technically make it a good fantasy book for spooky season because there's lots of dead people. Lots of skeletons. I might, because I got the paperback, started over from the beginning and annotate. Because I do that with paperbacks, but hopefully, I'll be able to get this one done, but at least by the end of October, because I was really liking it and I'd like to be able to pick it back up. I am rereading The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue right now. I read it when it first came out. Loved it. I have an Addie LaRue tattoo on my ribcage. Hi, Hazel. Sorry. Love it. I am actually annotating this one as I go. Someone did ask me when I did a poll in my Instagram stories if I would do a video about my annotation style, so I will. So I won't get into it now. I'll just kind of like flip through a bit and show you, like, it's kind of, I use midliners. I use the gray because I like it. I also have a couple of the colors that I occasionally will use. This one is a lot less of writing and margins than I normally would do, but there is a little. Sometimes I doodle. Let me see if I can find a doodle. Sort of a doodle. Please don't tear my curtains. So yeah, so Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, I'm probably about just slightly over halfway through with it. I was kind of hoping to finish it today, and the day got away from me, so I didn't, but I definitely will probably have this one finished as soon as I finish Rock, Paper, Scissors. So I'm hoping to just knock out of the way in like a day or two, just to be done with it. But Addie LaRue, fantastic book. Like I said, I'm rereading it. I loved it the first time. I'm loving it even more the second time I'm reading it. I do know a lot of people hated it because it's very slow paced. I guess we're just built different. So this one is that one. So that's 4. Plus I'm hoping to reread Call Down the Hawk and Mr. Impossible before October, I think it's 18th, because that's when Greywarren comes out, and I want to reread those before it comes out so that I haven't forgotten anything important. So not impossible, fairly doable, I think, as far as what I'm trying to give myself to do, and technically I am already reading these 4, so I just have to finish 4 that I've started, which shouldn't be impossible, right? Right? Okay, so let's do autumn vibe books. I'll probably do this seasonally. So I'll probably do one for winter. I'll probably do one for like spring, summer, that sort of thing. Because I think it's kind of fun. And I know that it's like everybody's like idea of like fall vibes is gonna be different. So this is kind of just what mine are. And I think it's a lot of fun to kind of just see what people think. Put you in the mood for autumn. First up is not to be obvious and basic, but Picture of Dorian Gray. I haven't read this one in a while, but I did love it when I read it. Very gay, if you're into that sort of thing. Haunted painting, or cursed, I guess, painting. Very, very good vibes for the upcoming time of year. So that's one. It is a classic, so a lot of people had to read this in school, so you may have already read it and just be like, that book was terrible. That's fine, you don't have to read it. Not gonna bother me. Edgar Allan Poe. This is just one of my books by him. Tales of horror. Anything by Edgar Allan Poe works for this time of the year because he does a lot of horror. I know about some that I read in high school that I really liked, and I'm hoping to actually read a couple of them in October. I also love this book cover. I think it looks really cool. That's one. Anne of Green Gables. Anne is like the OG autumn girly. She, like, it's not autumn, I don't think, if you don't read Anne. So, Anne of Green Gables. I really love this, like, paper cut tight cover. I think it's really pretty. It's in a plastic coating, so it's, like, it doesn't mess it up. But, anyway, Anne of Green Gables, another classic. I'm only throwing classics at you right now, but I'm gonna get into something more recent, I promise. But go for Anne. Alright. Excuse me. Moving on. Vicious by V.E. Schwab. Another one that I haven't read in a while, but I think about all the time. I think it's fantastic. As you can see, it involves death, or lack thereof. My friend borrowed it and left her laundry list in here. Not her laundry list, her grocery list in here. Shout out to Rachel. Just now found that. Otherwise, I wouldn't have left it in there probably. Yeah, I keep adding books to my TBR for this upcoming fall. This is another one I've been wanting to reread for a while. So hopefully, if I get through what I'm already reading and I have room for it, I'll throw this one on there because I love this book. I think it's great. It's dark academia, but it's like science dark academia. Kind of like, it's like science and superhero dark academia. So it's very different, like, style academia, but it's fantastic. Very good. Give it a whirl. I don't have any Shakespeare books in this pile, but there are Shakespeare plays that are good for autumn. Macbeth is an obvious one. I think Hamlet is a good one for this time of year, but because I don't have Shakespeare in this pile, I am going to show you If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. It is about a group of Shakespeare students that do a lot of their plays. Some of the book is written like a play as far as like acts and dialogue and everything. This is one of my favorite books. I annotated this one last time I read it. You can see it's very heavily tabbed. I have like I think 3 copies of this book, but all like different editions, and I think I've just ordered a 4th. This book is fantastic. I will say if you absolutely hate Shakespeare, it might be hard for you to get through because it's very Shakespeare heavy. If you like Shakespeare, give it a whirl. It's pretty good. I like it, and I think it takes place during like October, November. So that's a good time of the year to do it. We are about to get the Atlas Paradox, which is the book 2 of this one. This is just sort science academia again. So science magic basically, in a secret society. There's death, there's betrayal, there's teamwork and friendship. Olivia Blake is a genius. This is not the only book by her that I have read, but I love it. I'm like hoping to reread this before the second one comes out. Really putting myself in a hole here, but Atlas 6, fantastic for this time of the year, or forever actually. It's not, I don't think, autumn centric. Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. Secret Societies, a girl who can see and talk to ghosts. Can she talk to ghosts? Yeah, I think she can. Talks to ghosts, there's demon portals, dark black magic, whatever. Very, very, very good. It starts slow, and for a while you have no idea what the hell's happening, but by the time you get to the end, it is just mind-bogglingly good. And we're about to get the sequel to this one, so now's a good time to read it if you haven't yet, or maybe even reread it if you're anticipating the second one like I am. Okay. Gallant by V.E. Schwab, another one by her. She is a master. She's fantastic. She's brilliant. This one is about a house that is under a curse. One of the things I loved about it is that the main character is nonverbal. So it was really, really cool to read a book in which the main character has to navigate the world when she can't use dialogue, which reading it when dialogue is how characters communicate pretty frequently, it was really cool to see her do it without that in the book. So she's nonverbal. Like I said, the house is cursed, like a death curse. It's like a death curse. Really cool, very atmospheric, very spooky season-esque. There's ghosts in this one as well. There's like secret journals and like I think they're, anyway, it's really good for this time of year. This is a special edition, so this is not what it normally looks like. The normal one is like a cream and red, but all the other books I've shown you basically have been black, so I've had to pull that one. Another one, this one came out last October, I think. Another spooky season read, A Lesson in Vengeance. It's about witches. And a writer named Ellis. The main character, it's not an unreliable narrator because she knows what's going on, but she's lying about how things are happening, so she seems unreliable until you get to the end, and then you realize that she's just lying to you. Again, there is like rituals and ghosts, or not ghosts, witches. It's at a university, like an academy. There is a map. Oh, the book's upside down. Whoopsie. There's a map of the campus. So that's pretty cool. Really good for spooky season. Like fantastic for spooky season, especially if you want to kind of a modern witchy read, in which witchcraft is sort of central to the storyline. There's also a mysterious death that you're kind of trying to figure out what happened. My last recommendation, and I could have like tons and tons and tons of these, so if you guys want another video of me giving you recs for spooky season, let me know. Last one is Book of Night by Holly Black. Actually, now that I say that, I just thought of more books to tell you to read. Book of Night by Holly Black. It is about shadow magic. There are parts of it that can be kind of hard to follow because the rules of the magic are kind of crazy. So it takes a minute to kind of figure out how the magic works. But it's all shadow magic. Hey witch. Hey witch. Hey baby. So pretty good. Not bad for spooky season. So if you want like kind of like a different type fantasy, maybe pick this one up. Not too bad. Also, I think mine might be signed, which is kind of fun. It is. Alright, couple more because we're at 26 minutes, so let's try to trim it down a bit. Enchantment of Ravens by Margaret Rogerson is about the Autumn King of Fairy, or the Autumn Fairy King, or the Autumn King, whatever. Fantastic for this time of year. Very whimsical, very magical. It's a very quick read. I usually read it in about one sitting. I love this book. I've read it probably 3 times maybe, and I'll probably read it again this year before the end of the year. So it's very like fae. There's a lot of fairies, but like the trickery type fairy where they can't lie to you. They're very tricksy type, kind of Holly Black almost. It's like Holly Black adjacent type fairies, but again, King of Autumn is a main character, and it's really, really good. It's like a very magical, kind of sad, whimsical type love story. So, another one that I like to try to read this time of the year is also, it's Holly Black. It's The Folk of the Air. There's nothing inherently about this one that screams autumn to me, but I don't know. It just feels like an autumn read to me. There's nothing about it specifically that I'm like, oh, that has to be read in autumn. It just feels right to me. And I think that has a lot to do with the fact that autumn feels very magical as a time of year, and very kind of mystical and whimsical, and it just feels different. So this is it's kind of like what this series makes me feel like as well, which I think is why I like to read it during this time of the year. Yeah. And another one, and I'm not going to grab it because I'd have to stand up. The Scorpio Races, though, by Maggie Stiefvater is also a very good autumn read. It takes place during October. And it's building up to the first day of November, in which there is a horse race. Like a deadly horse race. And it's a take on water horses, like mythological water horses. And it's so good. I usually try to read it at the end of October, shifting into November, because that's kind of when the book takes place. And it's also very, very good. I have like 3 or 4 copies. They're all up there. So I'm not going to grab one. But that's my last one for autumn recommendations. If you've read some of these, then tell me what you thought of them in the bottom. If you have other books for this time of year that you think I should read or try to read, also put that in the comments, and we will try to, there's only one, I will put them on my list and see if I have time to get to them before winter starts in December. But that is it. Thanks if you hung out for this long, for hanging out. YouTube is going to be a bit of a learning curve, so be patient as I figure out what I'm doing. Thanks for hanging out. Hopefully, I don't know how often I'm going to try to do these because I don't know how to edit, and I don't know how long it'll take me to do. If I figure it out pretty quickly and it doesn't take long, maybe once a week. So yeah, thanks for hanging.
You stand in the presence of Daenerys Stormborn of House Targaryen, rightful heir to the Iron Throne, rightful queen of the Andals and the First Men, protector of the 7 kingdoms, the mother of dragons, the Khaleesi of the Great Grass Sea, the Unburnt, the breaker of chains.
This is Jon Snow. He's king in the north.